Hello again. Okay, so next question: Can I get in? Can I get an SBA loan with the bankruptcy? And the answer is an emphatic, absolutely yes. The real question is how long after a bankruptcy discharge, or how long do I have to wait after I discharge a bankruptcy before I qualify for an SBA loan? The technical answer is 0 days or 1 day, but the number of participating lenders is probably going to be dramatically reduced. Now, of course, we can always have a conversation to see how and if I can help, and if not with an SBA loan, we can provide some alternatives, because you can definitely get an SBA or I'm leaving the sneeze in. Forgive me. So you can definitely get a business loan with a bankruptcy 1 day out of discharge, and if it's a really pressing matter, I guess we can find some options where you can get a bankrupt, or where you can get some cash in your hand with an open bankruptcy. Although that's probably not going to be very cost effective, but I'm sure it's possible. But the longer after a bankruptcy, the more your options open up. That's how I like to describe it. So for example, my platform, my SBA lending platform, where I post loans, there are 5,000 lenders, 5,000 plus. Okay, so if you are 1 day out of bankruptcy, out of that 5,000, if I go across all of the platforms that I have access to, there's probably, I don't know, 7,500, 8,000 lenders, something like that. So out of those 8,000 lenders, there might be a handful that will work with you, but when you're 1 year out, you might have 100, 200 options. Okay. Once you're 2 years out, that's going to dramatically increase. After 3 years, you should be fine. And the majority of lenders are going to take a serious look at you. After 3 years, like 2 years is normally like the sweet spot. And sometimes it's 3 years. And sometimes it's, if you've ever had a bankruptcy, then they won't touch you. But I mean, they can only go back like 10 years, or because a bankruptcy shows up on your credit report for 10 years, and although it stays on public records, they would be able to see it, but very few lenders are going to be concerned with that, although they ask you directly in the loan application, and it would be against the law to lie about it. So yeah, the best answer, I feel, is that it's possible. The longer after a bankruptcy, the longer it's been after a bankruptcy, the more options you're going to have. After 3 years, it should be barely a concern. After 2 years, you'll be fine. Inside of 2 years, you're going to have some options. Inside of a year, you might have a handful of options. And across every one of those layers, the cost goes down. The longer it's been, the lower, the less they tax you for it, I guess. But, bankruptcies, it's not the end of the world. If you've gone through a bankruptcy, it's not the end of the world. There are, in some cases, a bankruptcy is better than having a lot of active like collection accounts or negative accounts. I'm not saying that is not advice. Okay, advice, you should discuss that with a lawyer. You should discuss that within your family, business partners, friends, family. I mean, you get advice. You don't listen to some guy on YouTube just because he says it. All right, but and read books. I would read, man. People need to read more, learn more. Okay, but bankruptcy, from me as a person that feeds his family from getting deals closed. Okay, bankruptcy is not the end of the world. All right, we can still get it done, no problem. Be it mortgage, commercial, real estate, as you know, business loan, whatever you need. You know, I need to know that a bankruptcy is there, so we can use our time as efficiently as possible. But it's not the end of the world. It'll be fine. Okay, very good. Next question. Thank you.